All right, shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh.
Yahweh,
All
Bashem, Yahushai,
Bashem,
Bashem, Barakakodah.
right, double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who do well and to start off this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect that are also pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And also to you little amount of sisters that believe as well. So this lesson is going to be based upon Amos the 8th chapter and the 11th verse, going into the famine of the word. And the famine of the word is building up. You know, things are being put in place to regulate information that ultimately comes up against the new system that's being set up, which is the beast system according to the scriptures. So article, and then we're gonna go from there and then get into Amos 8 and 11 other scriptures. So. All right, so this is off of exposednews.com. And did you read this one? Oh, Slacker. This is off exposednews.com. And the title here. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, bear with me. I think it just. These gremlins, man. Bear with me here. I don't know where it went. It's just right here. Slack, give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. There we go. Went into something else. So the headline here, brothers can see this, right? It says the Ministry of Truth is real, led by the BBC, helped cause 20 million access deaths due to COVID-19, Crown Royal. So I'm just gonna get right into the meat of it and start from I'll just read this top part and then get into it. It says in 2019, the government of the UK established a ministry of truth led by British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, in response to what they claim was overwhelming amount of misinformation and fake news circulating online. They call this Ministry of Truth the Trusted News Innovative, TNI.
So, like a brother,
initiative.
Is this the BBC?
It says, yeah, BBC, yeah.
So we know the head of the BBC is ruled and governed by the so-called white man, Esau the devil. Mm-hmm. So that's not his place to be the heralder of truth, right? Mm-hmm. And we know this because the Bible in Psalm 58:3 says what? When are you going to bring it out, brother?
Con. Bring that out.
Because we have to always consult the Bible, because these guys are very good with their words and fierce speeches, right? Mm-hmm. They have all these letters bearing a name where it seems like you should trust them because they're so and so and whatever, but we don't deal with that. We do what Yahweh Shai says, okay? And we go through the scriptures to see if they can be trusted. So Psalms 58:3.
68 or 58?
58:3.
It's like it's a little slow. Psalms 58:3, and it reads, "The wicked are estranged from the womb. Mm-hmm. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies."
Okay, so we know the wicked, as I started out by saying, that goes into Esau. It's a buzzword, right? Mm-hmm. Edomites, if you descend from a nation called Edom or Esau, each and every last one of you are known as the wicked. Okay, yeah. So you're not at the forefront of any truth. The truth is given to his people, which are the Israelites, right, pursuant to Psalms 147, 19 to 20. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with right now. So it was reading this article not to lift you up, just for edification. Like it, brother.
No, that's a good point. So now let's get right into it. So it says here, start from up here. The Ministry of Truth quickly established a set of strict standards and guidelines for news organizations to follow, with the goal of entrusting that only information approved by powerful governments and other powerful institutions such as the BBC, the UN, and the World Economic Forum, which these are all owned by Edomites. Okay, like the head of all these organizations are Edomites. Reach the public. It says the standards focus on areas such as fact checking, transparency, and impartiality. And news organizations found to be publishing information not approved by powerful governments and other powerful institutions face severe consequences. As this new Ministry of Truth gained more power, the influence it began to expand its reach beyond just news organizations. Scientists and experts in various fields were also brought under the ministry's purview, with powerful governments and other powerful institutions arguing that their research and findings needed to be vetted for accuracy and bias.
So the Bible says also in Sirach 12 and 10 to what? Never trust thine enemy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know the Lord has enemies, right? Also pursuant to Psalms is 83, right? Esau spearheading that, League of Nations, right? Leader of all the nations, man. So when I go into this man pseudoscience, all right? That's right. I'm just reading this article just for edification to show what liars they are and show that this prophecy works, right?
Yeah.
So if you weren't given this truth, it means mercy was extended to you. So you've been left in the dark, right? Left like fumbling for light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it also show you that what's being done is like when you read here, they didn't just go into the UN, the WEF, and the BBC, ultimately ruled by the banking families, all three organizations. They now are saying that they deem what's truth and what's not. Right? So they're going to only let out what helps further their beast system that they're setting up. Anything that comes up against that beast system will be regulated, So that ties into Amos 8 and 11, and they even go further than that, and they infiltrated. I'll use that word. They infiltrated scientists, right? And you, a lot of the world believe in the science of the poison dart, right? But you didn't know that the science of the poison dart that you received was regulated by evil men, simply put. All right, and these men don't care. These people don't care about you. You're nothing but a number. You're nothing but a slave to them. It says the severe consequences that news organizations, scientists, experts, and individuals who dare to publish or speak the truth face were loss of livelihood. Right? News organizations that failed to comply with the Ministry of Truth standards were defunded and smeared in an attempt to shut them down. While scientists and experts and that's why, throughout the last 2 years, you saw a lot of people losing their jobs, a lot of scientists, a lot of doctors that would speak out against, the COVID-19. Scientists and experts who challenged
a lot of them dropped dead.
Yeah, that's true too. Yep. While scientists and experts who challenged the the official narrative lost their jobs or were prevented from publishing their research. Harassment and intimidation. The Ministry of Truth also used the power to intimidate and harass individuals who challenged the official narrative. This included sending threatening messages, spreading false information about them online, and that's what's going to get ready to happen. That has been happening already, but it's going to happen on even a larger scale with the prophets. All right, the prophets are, Esau is going to falsely accuse the prophets and make them look bad, the men of the Lord. All right, or even physically stalking or attacking them. It says the Ministry of Truth, it says the so-called, I'll just say the so-called Trusted News Initiative approach was highly successful in curbing spread of truthful information that hurt their goals to gain total control of information. Right. And basically, I just want to get a little bit of this out. When you go here, it just gives you some numbers on the during the time of 2021 and 2022. It says in 2021, the U.S. suffered nearly 7,000 excess deaths and a further 360,000 excess deaths by November 11th, 2022, while Europe suffered 382,000 excess deaths in 2021 and 309,000 excess deaths by November 2022. These figures do not include Ukraine. In Australia, there were only these are all people who died by the dose or even just by getting the COVID-19. In Australia, there were only 1,300 excess deaths in 2020, but this increased by 747% to 11,000 deaths in 2021 after the rollout of the COVID-19 DART. So showing you that, they're depopulating, right? And that's their MO, is to depopulate as much as they can, right? And when you go to the Georgia Guidestones, they tell you which got blew up a year ago. They tell you that they only want 500 million people on the planet.
Brother, I want to interject. Bill Gates had a TED talk. And he had an equation. I forget what it was, like a CPO.
Someone's
whatever,
echoing,
right? And the P was for people.
Hey, brother, someone's echoing.
Sorry, brother.
Someone's echoing in the background. You gotta turn it up.
Is it echoing now?
No.
Am I echoing still?
No, you're good.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So he had a TED talk where he had an equation with like a CEO, but the P was for people. And he's saying if it does a good job with what he call the dose, you can reduce it by, I think, by 15%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you guys all trusted. A lot of people trusted this science.
God.
Like you say, Esau is pseudoscience.
You want to get down 1 Timothy 6 and 19?
1 Timothy 6 and 19. 1 Timothy 6 and 19, and it reads, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. You want to read up a little bit?
Go down 20.
Okay, Con. It says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called."
They're just pseudoscience, man.
That's right.
And that's the thing Trudeau kept saying over time again. He said, we're going to trust the science.
Con.
Yeah, Con.
He's like, we're going to keep trusting the science, trusting the science.
Yeah, that's
And their
right.
science is fuckery, man.
That's right.
Well, it
That's
says profane babbling, right?
Yeah.
You know, Esau's the one that's profane.
That's right. Right. And you know, when you go into science, it just simply means knowledge. So it's false knowledge, man. Okay, false knowledge. So a lot more in here, but I'm gonna go right to the precept. Go right to the precept, and we'll get into that too. I got a couple stuff on there. So I'm gonna start from 1 and just read down to 11. And then get the point in 11. So Amos 8:1, it says, thus has the Lord Yahweh showed unto me, and behold, a basket of summer fruits. And he said, Amos, what seest thou? And I said, a basket of summer fruits. Then said the Lord Yahweh unto me, the end is come upon my people of Israel. I will not again pass by them anymore. And the song of the temple shall be howling in the day, saith the Lord Yahweh power. There shall be many dead bodies in every place. Right? And I just read the numbers of how many people were dying in comparison to 2021 to 2022. A lot of you Jakes were the main target. All right. But this man is such a devil that he doesn't even care if he gets his own people.
Well, he's the son of perdition, right? So his you know, his old spirit is just destroying.
Yeah, Khan.
Hey, is anybody hearing echo, or is it just me?
Yes, you.
Hold on, I'm gonna come back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't hear echo.
Yeah, exactly.
Or when he spoke here, there was Gary. He's gonna address it.
Okay, Khan. So going on, it says, in the song of the temple shall be howling in that day. Saith the Lord Yahweh, there shall be many dead bodies. Okay, let me just get the brother back on. Khan. It says, there shall be many dead bodies in every place. They shall cast them forth with silence. So it's gonna, you know, basically the Lord is saying it's gonna get to a point where you're not really gonna mourn. You're just gonna have dead bodies all over the place, man. It's gonna be like an astonishment.
Well,
it's gonna be the norm,
right?
Because remember, it says, they shall cast out their bodies as dung.
Right.
That's right. Oh.
Verse 4, it says, Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, right? The UN, the BBC, right? The World Economic Forum, and really starting with the banking family, the elites, even to make the poor of the land to fail, right?
Brother, you'll see how now when someone is dead, you know, they're very careful, you know, picking the body up and, you know, wrapping it up, and, you know,
right.
The Lord saying that day me is toss it out. That's outside, man.
Man.
You know?
That's right.
Salakia, and this is what's happening right now in Turkey, because they say around 3,000 bodies. You're not going to have the time to wrap it up and put them in a coffin.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's up to 7,000 now.
7,000.
Oh, sure.
And that's basically one of the day of the Lord, because that day just means the time when the Lord visits the earth, man. So that's the Lord visiting.
Right.
This is the Lord they need to make the world be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not this lovey-dovey, the Lord that, you know, that wears an apron, you know, with a cupcake on it, talking about, you know, who wants next one, who wants next chocolate muffin.
Hey, and it's gonna keep escalating, man. Like the elder from Dallas, Ariella, he was doing the thing, live class, and he was going into, you know, how you're gonna have more of these large events happen, where we you know, the men of the Lord, we've been telling you that, look, it's gonna get to a point where you're gonna have tens of thousands, hundreds, and then millions of people dying.
right.
So now you're seeing it might be 10,000 right now that they find, you know. And I remember, you know, like you'd have earthquakes and they say, oh, 50 people died, 100 and people were in shock, you know. But now it's just gonna be full force because it's gonna be great death upon the earth. You know?
Yeah, man. And you know what's crazy is that's right now when all hell's really breaking loose. To you guys' point about the dead bodies, no one's gonna bury any dead body. You're not gonna be thinking about that. You're gonna be thinking about your safety. You know. So Amos 8:4 says, "Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land fail." And you know the famine of food and water is happening by design. That's also what they're doing to really starve people out, right? Verse 5 it says, "Saying, when will the moon?" Right, saying, "When will the moon be gone, that we may sell corn?" And this is going to Israel, wicked Israel, saying, "When will the moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit." So that basically goes into Israel being consumed with work and business and really profaning the Sabbaths and not, putting the Sabbaths and the high holy days of the Lord in remembrance, right? You have a lot of Israelites today, right? False prophets that are just caught up in merchandise and selling,
I got a quick precept right now.
Sure.
Second Ezra 7 and let's start 20th.
Okay. Go
on. And it reads, "For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of Yahweh that is set before them. For Yahweh hath given straight commandments to such as can what they should do to live, even as they can, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him and imagined vain things." And that goes into what happened to this place in Turkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Turkey, Syria, right? Turkey, and then remember, you had an earthquake in Buffalo, 3.8.
Oh yeah,
they said it was felt in southern Ontario, which we don't get that. Ours, the seismic activity in Ontario is pretty good. You don't get that, but you're gonna have all kinds of an anomaly happen in the earth right now.
You gotta also remember that even though they come under the banner of Turkish, right? A lot of people, remember, were scattered. What they're calling Allah Akbar, all those names, right? So they could be looking like the heathens, but it could be Israelites as well, man. Most not judging them.
Not could be. They're there.
Yeah, 100%.
Remember, brothers, that I'm looking for it actually. Ararat is where the ark was, where the ark is from that place.
Yeah.
And also I believe it's close to where Antioch is. I have to look at it again on the maps. So
Antioch's in Syria, right?
Right. Oh yeah, with the Salakia. And they had earthquakes as well. Just wanted to be clear with that. But it was more Ararat. So yes, Israelites are in there, all mingled up in there, and they're getting
Asia Minor,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Going back, it says Amos 8:6, that we may buy the poor for silver and the needy for a pair of shoes, yea, and sell the refuse for the wheat. The Lord Yahweh has sworn by the excellency of Jacob, surely I will never forget any of their works. Right? And that's why there's a lot of judgment happening on the earth, is because the Most High doesn't forget the works of man, whether it's good or evil. Right? And it says, verse 8, shall not the land tremble for this, and everyone mourn that dwelleth therein? And it shall rise up wholly as a flood, and it shall be cast out and drowned as by the flood of Egypt. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day, and I will turn your feast into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring up sackcloth upon all your loins, and baldness upon every head. And I will, so all these things represent misery. Misery, man. That's what the Lord is bringing in these last days. As the brothers were talking about Turkey, that's just one event, right?
And you know, Salaki, you have these idiots all pray for Turkey. Soon there's going to be too much to pray for, man. There's going to be things popping off. You're going to have to pray for your damn self, you pieces of shit. You know, you stupid people, man. You know, you got these niggas out here. They're these bitches. They're we call it auditioning right now for Carabana. You know, the poster girls and all that shit.
Yeah.
That's where your mindset is at.
Right.
You know, you're not looking at, you know, the WEF. Oh, what's the WEF? What's the World Economic Forum? You know, who's Klaus Schwab? Who's that guy? I don't know that guy. You don't give a shit, man. So that's why when this shit happens, you know, oh, his Carabana's canceled again. Fuck. That's your only reaction. You know, but this time it's gonna be worse, man. You know, when they lock you people down, it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be like the Gestapo, man. You're gonna be restricted. You're gonna have a lot of restrictions, man. All right, and Esau's gonna use the actual sword now to exercise those laws. You know,
Right.
because remember, they threw it out at you people when they said anybody out can be pulled over. Remember that? There was a short time. Where they said anybody out past a certain time, the police can pull you over, even though the provincial and certain city police, they tweeted, "Look, we're not going to be pulling people over," but they just threw that out, man. They they kind of tossed it out, but that's what's coming.
Yeah,
that's right. Powerful.
Proverbs 16:4. Month.
16, right?
Verse 4. Because the elders has made a good point, right? You know, the Lord's is gonna make a move on your people, man, through his sword, which is east of the devil.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna wake up one day, your assets, if you got assets, they're frozen, your bank accounts is frozen. You know, you niggas that got stash houses with cash, invalid. No more. You know? It's gonna be invalid, man.
That's right.
Right? It might come in March, right? Because that's what I heard to somebody in Germany. A top analyst. He's nervous. He told me he's like, I'm nervous because of the WEF, what they're doing, and they might plan a cyber attack around March. And guess what? He told me March 20th, and I remember that date. And the day after, you have the Fed meeting, March 21st, 22nd. To talk about interest rates and all that. So it could happen because remember, March is a month of war. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying these moves are going to happen.
That's beautiful, brother. Beautiful.
Proverbs 16:4, it says, "The Lord Yahweh has made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil."
Okay. So that's the so-called white man's playing his role, being the wicked. Right, and it says the Lord has made him that way, right? So don't get twisted thinking that Esau has some power over himself. This is the Lord's movie, man. So he's set to play the antagonist while we're set to be the protagonist, and that's what we're doing right now, right? We're reading the scriptures.
Yeah. God. It says, I'll just read one more verse. It says, "Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord Yahweh."
So see, every single Edomite, right? Because they're made to be the proud. You see a bum, right? With a Tim Hortons cup, acting all proud, man. Like if you're not looking at him shaking the cup, he wants to give you attitude. You know what I mean? Hey, you don't see me, and you don't want to tell you F off. Like, you want the cup, brother. You want the cup. I'm in a car. I don't look at you. You know. But that proud spirit is in them,
Yeah.
You know?
And you Israelites too, man. A lot of you Israelites are super proud. The Most High is going to tear you guys apart, and that's we fear the Lord. That's why Paul said, "For knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men."
Mm-hmm.
You want the Lord to remember you in mercy. You don't want Him to remember you in judgment on with death.
Right.
You want Him to remember you in mercy. It says, "Though hand join in hand." Right? And what is Black History Month, right? So you got a lot of so-called, not so-called. We got a lot of Edomites who are, so-called, being kind to their so-called Black friends, right? But this is what the scriptures say: "Though hand join in hand, he shall not go unpunished." It should say that, he shall not go unpunished.
Hey, bro, today I was at CB24 and I got pinball Clemens with that football guy from
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah.
I guess they won the trophy or something.
Oh yeah, come on.
Okay.
He was there bigging up Tory. Like, can I get a round of applause for our leader? And clapping. Even Edomites doesn't clap, man. They're like, you got a punk. He's like,
He was born a king.
The mayor. Damn shrivel old man Edomite.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he was born a coon.
God.
Ever since I know him, but it is what it is. Real quick, I need to just back up a little bit. I missed it. I was going to bring it out, but it came out, the character of who we're talking about in terms of the wickedness. All right, so Amos 8:4, right, as well, right, it talks about, "Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy."
Yeah.
Right, and we know that's so-called white man, but the precept that I want to bring out in connection with that verse and also verse 6, that we may buy the poor for silver and the needy for a pair of shoes. Right, and we know who it is, but I just wanted to get this Amos 2:6. But if you could just read from verse 4 for those at home real quick, and the point is in the 6th verse, okay, because we have the record there that's telling us, and the prophecy actually in verse 6 into our time. If you could read that, brother.
Come. Amos 2:4, it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Judah, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have despised the law of the Lord Yahweh, and have not kept his commandments, and their lies caused them to err after that which their fathers have walked."
And of course, we know that simply going into the simplest way to look at the breakdown there is the nation there that the Lord described, they have rejected. That's results of rejecting the truth, right? Thus, famine is going to come and then destruction.
Yeah, they're their forefathers coming back, man.
Continue.
But I will send a fire upon Judah, and it shall devour the places or palaces of Jerusalem. Thus saith the Lord, verse 6.
Here's the point.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Israel, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they sold the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of shoes. Yep. Yeah. So you had a lot of, what's not talked about enough as well is Israel sold Israel into slavery.
Good.
So there's judgment for that too.
Well, the northern tribes, we know they were here first. A lot of our turncoats, man. Right? so they didn't see the southern tribes as a brother, because after those years they even forgot who they were. Because remember, Jeremiah says, even you shall forget the heritage that I gave you.
Yeah.
So they're calling themselves other names, Chickasaw and Chakwa, whatever name they were calling themselves. Right. Yeah. So when they see a so-called southern tribe come over, they see what Esau says to be an African. Right. Yeah. So they be selling their brothers in a slavery, man, for like a musket. So Israel did sell Israel as well too.
Yeah. Gone. So going back, getting to the 11 now, Amos 8:11, it says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a nor a thirst of water, even though these things will happen as well. But the Lord is making a specific point here. But of hearing the words of the Lord.
Then it said, "Blessed is he who hear this word," in the Revelation.
Right.
And it's the Lord that's sending it, and He's not being carnal, because like you said, famine, thinking about your bed all the time, about you miss your bread and meat. This is what the Lord is saying is most important right now. Like, because when there's a famine, like a literal famine, it doesn't mean there's no food. This means that the food ain't being administered to you. Like, it's all gonna be food. It doesn't just vanish. It's just like somebody's being in control of it. So the Lord is showing He's in control of the word. Each as the literal food in His control. The Most High has the food that matters in control. The Lord saying, "I'm going to take it away from you, man."
That's right.
And then you'll be seeking it, and you won't find it.
That's right.
Because it's spiritual. It's from the Lord. He blocked everything. Yeah.
Well, now, beautiful that you said that, because check this out in the commentary, right, for this verse. Let me just start at verse 10. Right, it says, baldness, a sign of mourning. It says, "I will make it as mourning of an holy sun." It says, "It that is the earth, I will reduce the land to such a state that there shall be the same occasion of mourning as when parents mourn for an only son." Right, verse 11, it says, "Famine of hearing the words of the Lord." It says,
so that means, like, yeah, man, that's a great grief. That's one of the best examples you can give. Is like a mother losing her son.
Yeah,
that grief is terrible, and that's what you're going to have multifold. You're going to hear that everywhere, for various reasons. Mainly for hunger, but
So it goes in and it says, "Famine of hearing the words of the Lord." It says, "A just retribution," right? "A just retribution on those who will not hear the Lord's prophets, nay, even try to drive them away, as Amaziah did." Right, referring to Amos 7 and 12. Also, Amaziah said unto Amos, "O thou seer, go flee thee into the land of Judah, and there eat bread and prophesy there." Right, it says, "They shall look in vain in their distress for divine counsel." You see, such as the prophets now offer. So what we're offering through the spirit power of Yahuwah Shai is divine counsel. Right? And that's going to be
the oracles of the Most High.
That's right. That's right. And that's what's going to be sought for.
And also in that day too, like you now want to be known as a prophet, because them times Esau may want to jack you up. So he's like, "I don't know nothing, man." I don't know nothing. Don't speak English.
Yeah, and you're not going to be teaching anybody anything anyway. And somebody asks you, say, I don't know.
Basically, by that time it's gonna be outlawed. It's not be able to you be keeping that to yourself.
Yeah.
Here's the precept to what brother just mentioned. Actually, can you go to it? Ezekiel 7 and 25. The point is the 26th verse. I don't know if you have that.
Yeah, I'm already there. It's right here.
It's right there.
I'll just go to 7 and 26. Ezekiel 7 and 26. It says, "Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients."
All you guys out there that's talking about the mark, that it's spiritual,
You're finished. You're finished.
You need to read this precept, because they're walking up that alley.
Yeah,
but it's not even fulfillments yet. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Even for their listeners, that means these other Israelite groups, these other Israelite leaders, their so-called wisdom that they have now is going to come to naught in that. You know, they're going to be looking for the answers for themselves too. Another quick precept, it says Micah 3:7, then shall the seer be ashamed and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of Yahweh. Right? It goes on to say,
a lot of you mother effers, man, that told people what the MOTB or the MOTB, you know, disinformation, lies. You know, you're gonna have a lot of questions in that day. Like when Abu Tahar said, they create them stations, man. You know, they set up them stations, and I had a dream of that when I first came into truth, man. I had a dream of a long lineup, you know, and it was me in a Latin tribe from the world, and you know, we were in line, and then basically up the line, you seen people getting stamped in the right hand, and then in the dream, me and my boy, we ran over the fence and we went in the forest and we ran. You know, and then I woke up, but I had that dream. I'm like, that's spiritual, you know, and you can see it, you know, like you can really see this thing playing out. And I seen it before, you know, like certain, like all the brothers, you know, you can see it,
absolutely,
right? Because we're seers, we're prophets through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. I got another quick one. It must be read. The minor prophet Micah. Read the 5th verse. The point is in the 6th verse, if you can get it when you get a chance.
Micah 3:7.
3 and 6.
Yeah, I had a quick article though I wanted to bring out just to get into all this what we're talking about.
Bring it out, brother.
All right. So this is just from Fox News, right? Dated January 17th, 2023. It says former CNN host Brian Stelter slammed for hosting Davos panel on disinformation. And it reads, former CNN host Brian Stelter hosted a panel at the World Economic Forum Tuesday on alleged disinformation and hate speech. He says Stelter asked his panel, how does this discussion of disinformation relate to everything else happening today in Davos? Sulzberger responded that disinformation is the most existential problem the world is facing because it is attacking trust, causing societies to fracture. Now, what is he talking about? Trust in who? Trust in your powers, man. Trust in your masters, right?
Right.
He said during the panel, Jourova predicted that alleged hate speech will become criminalized soon in the United States. And damn right, when they say predicted, they're basically saying, look, we're going to make it happen. Right? He can't say that, but that's why he has to say predicting. He said, quote, illegal hate speech, which you will have soon also in the U.S. I think that we have a strong reason why we have this in the criminal law. Right? And that was pretty much the point.
Wow. Unrighteous decrees. Start at verse 5 just to bring it home. Micah 3:5, and as if the Spirit is impressing you to continue to read, it's only a few verses. Go ahead.
So Micah,
and remember, they're also changing the definition of misinformation. So they're gonna pretty much fit in whoever, whatever they want, right?
Right.
And shalom to the comment board, the brothers putting up the precepts.
Shalom to the brothers.
Shalom.
So Micah 3:5, it says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace, and he that putteth not into your mouth, they even prepare war against him.
He said his words are smooth than butter, but war was in his heart. Right? So that's the man talking about peace, man. Right? Telling you that two fingers, in the V shape means peace when he's just speaking to his other wicked elites. Show him the 33. Each finger has 3 joints, so the 3 joints is 33. So they're showing a signal to each other.
Khan. And also the horns represent that.
Khan. Yeah. That shows you that, because this is talking about Israel, so that shows you that Israel has picked up that same skill, man. You know,
Yeah.
That's why Yahushua said that ye are like your father, the
Okay,
devil.
Khan, good precept.
You know, it says, therefore, night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision.
Going into the famine of the word. Go ahead, brother.
That's right. And it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine. And
yeah, look, right now, Slaki, we got the internet.
Khan.
And that's a light in of itself.
Khan.
Right? Because look, you got a portal, you can research whatever the fuck you want. If you have the time and you have the knowledge and you know, a little skill, you can research whatever the hell you want.
Khan.
You know, pretty much.
Yeah.
You got services like Telegram, which is encrypted, which they can't really control it yet. You know, because it was made by a Russian guy who they say created actually Facebook, and they stole allegedly. So he created Telegram, and then and you can go on there and you can find a bunch of things. But remember, you have another part of the internet called the dark web. You have the internet, you have the deep web, and then you have the dark web, which is at the bottom. You know, which hold on, if you guys are worried about fuckery, why don't you go and clean that mess up, man? But you know it's them anyway. You know, you can access the dark web today, man. Like on YouTube, you can type in tutorials how to safely access the dark web, which is not illegal to access the dark web. You know, in most countries, you know, you need a VPN and you need to use their router, and then you're in. But guess what? They tell you, look, don't ever go on there, man, because you might see some shit you can never unsee. You know, some disturbing things, man.
Damn, man.
You know, but we're in that time of what knowledge shall be increased.
Khan.
You know, but what you're reading now is beautiful because we're headed into the night, man. And the only thing, that's why it says, why do you think it says knowledge, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, man?
That's right. That's right. That's going to be your own personal flashlight, so to speak. It says that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets. Right? That wisdom, you're not going to have it. And the day shall break dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer from Yahweh. So I'm just going to finish up this commentary real quick because it's pretty good. It says, compare as to the Jews' rejection. So it's comparing to the rejection of this truth, right? It says, compare as to the Jews' rejection of Messiah and their consequent rejection by him.
Hey, and on a level, man, you guys are denying the Messiah. You're denying the word.
That's right.
Did he not say, "I am in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was a power," right? Yeah. And isn't Yahushua called the Word of the Most High? So when you guys talk shit about when that fat motherfucker is talking about, look, I got the potato chip right here. You know, look, it's a potato chip. He actually showed a potato chip. He's saying this is the chip. Where is he on the highways now? The Most High took that spirit from that idiot, man. So when you mock certain things, you guys better be careful too that you're mocking the words of the Most High. When you talk about, oh, that's a potato chip, or it's an embargo, or you brother just sleeping with white women, you know, those are serious things, man. You might be in the doorstep of blaspheming the Holy Spirit when you do things like that. You know, because you're basically disannulling and mocking the words of the Most High. Yeah. You're not mocking us.
Yeah, that's right.
I must say he is at the doorstep of that because those guys lean towards taking the, you know what. I'm just saying.
They're going to.
Oh, they're going. Yeah, that's right, brother. The majority, whoever of them is not of the elect, you know, which majority of you guys are bugged out anyway. Yeah. You will take it. Yeah. You know, there's some elect among you, we know that. But that's whoever, a lot of you guys you're gonna take it. There's brothers in GMS that are gonna take it.
Right.
You know? That's just the truth.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. Quick precept. It says Matthew 21:43. Therefore say I unto you, the kingdom of Yahweh shall be taken from you and given to a nation bringing forth the fruit thereof. right? So it's only that nation ultimately is going to be the elect of the nation of Israel, and their desire for Messiah too late, and their desire for the Messiah is too late, right?
That's why the Lord said in Jeremiah, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found."
That's right.
Yeah. John 7:34, it says, "Ye shall seek me," so looking for the truth, the word, "and ye shall not find me.
Mm-hmm.
And where am I? Thither you cannot come."
That's right. Even in the Holy of Holies. And
Wow.
start.
Because they're going to die. That's why. 2/3 are going to die. So you're not going to come. You're not going to get on. You're not going to get onto the ship right now or onto the chariots right now. You're going to get into the kingdom by way of death first. You know?
Pain.
Yeah. Yeah. It says, goes on to say, so the prodigal, when he had sojourned a while in a far off country, began to be in want in the mighty famine which arose. It is remarkable that the Jews' religion is almost the only one that could be abolished against the will of the people themselves. On account of its being dependent on a particular place, namely the temple, when what was destroyed, the Mosaic ritual, which could not exist without it, necessarily ceased, Providence designed it, that as the law gave way to the gospel, so all men should perceive it was so, in spite of the Jews' obstinate rejection of the gospel. You know, and in this last bit here, it says, "Faint for thirst," right? Because when you go to the 13th verse, it says, or the 12th verse, "And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst." Right? So in the commentary on the 13th verse, it says, namely, thirst for hearing the words of the Lord, being destitute of all other comforts. So basically, you're going to be stripped. People are going to be stripped of all their comforts, and when they're stripped of all their comforts, then they're gonna think about finding the truth, and that's gonna be
your what do you call it? The standard of living,
right.
is going to be greatly diminished, man. Until the point where even your bare necessities, water, food, clothing, heat, right, are slowly stripped away. Because right now I keep saying it because you're seeing it every day, man. The highest, most expensive thing right now is the cost of living. And that's a damn shame. Cost of living. You think about that. Cost me to live. It's a high, pretty penny for you to live right now a certain way. I'm not saying off the highway in a tent, which we're coming to that very soon.
On the bridge.
There.
Wow.
California is already there. It goes on to say, if even the young and strong faint, how much more the infirm? Finishing off, it says, verse 14, they that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, thy God, O Dan, liveth, and the manner of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. Right? It's because the gods that were put up in the land of Dan and Samaria. So a lot of you Israelites are worshiping those gods from back then today. Because they've just really been recycled and renamed, but they're all the same gods.
Yeah, right now we're in a month of love, right?
God. Yeah.
What kind of love, though?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
You know,
Exactly.
hey, this devil says love is love.
Yeah,
I
that's
got
why.
a quick precept, brother.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
This is 2nd Ezra 5:1. It says, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, right? What's a token? A sign.
Right.
Behold, the day shall come, that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. Why? Because great death.
Yes.
But there's a lot of great death, man.
Mhm.
If somebody can hold Sirach, I think it's 39 and 29 around there,
Spirits created.
and also 40. There's
Look
also
further
40
down.
and 20 about great death it speaks about. But it says here, it says, and the way of truth shall be hidden, which we're talking about that right now,
Right.
right? And the land shall be barren of faith. That's why in another precept in Ezra it mentions when the Lord comes, shall he should, no, it says one land shall ask another, is faith gone through thee? And they shall say no.
Come.
You know,
Come.
and that's why when the Lord comes, will he find faith? He's only going to find that small elect.
Right.
Okay, that's all that's going to be there. It says verse 2, but iniquity shall be increased above that which thou now seest. And I can't imagine that, man, because there's a bunch of iniquity. You're telling me it's going to turn up? Yo, that's why it's perilous times, man. Right? It says, or that thou hast heard long ago. So you hear about like for example, brothers that are older, they can tell you about New York or something in the 80s and 90s. Yo, it was crazy, brother. It was guys are getting just blown out, man.
Yeah.
Dudes' heads chopped off. It's gonna be worse than anything anybody can tell you. You know?
Come.
That was the point. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Wow.
You said Sirach 40?
Yeah. 39 and
No,
29.
39, brother.
Oh,
39, 29. Get that one. And the other one is 40 and 20, right, brother? Is it
40.
and
Sorry.
20? Okay.
Let me find out.
Meantime, I'll read
Yeah,
this.
start with 39. I'll find that out.
Okay.
Sirach 39 and 29, and it reads, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandments, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So they follow him.
That was the point, yeah.
Con.
And then it's 40 and 9 to 10.
Con.
So, okay. Mm-hmm.
You know, these are the times, man. That's why it says look, man, you're gonna start. 15,000 died today. 30. You're gonna hear those numbers, man. Because right now it's 7,000. Tomorrow it might be 10.
Con.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna start hearing those things.
Con. Sirach 40 and 9, it says, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood.
Hey, and what vibration are we on right now? Under Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. So you can expect all those things we just read.
That's right, man.
Yes, 2 Timothy 3.
2 Timothy 3.
Con.
Mm-hmm.
2 Timothy 3 and 1.
Con, start there.
Okay. 2 Timothy 3 and 1, it says, difficult times will come. It's know also that in the last days perilous times shall come.
That's what the elders are going into, right? Because we know we live in these last days. So that's why we know that this prophecy brings about clarity. Because if
Can
you
you look that word up to in the blue
you
letter?
know what's happening. You think it's going to vote the right man in. So we're going to get rid of Trudeau or get rid of Biden, and there's a guy Trump's going to save us, right? But it has nothing to do with them, man. It's the Lord's doing, man. We're living in the end.
That's right, man.
What word was that, Elder? You mentioned?
No, I got it. Perilous.
Okay.
The word perilous.
Strong's G 5467. Chalepas.
says hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage.
Savage.
And that's going into wrath.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the wrath of the so-called white man, because he knows the white is a short time.
Yeah.
So he's gonna bring it.
That's right. It says through the idea of reducing the strength, difficult, dangerous, or furious, fierce, perilous.
There's more in Timothy's there.
Yeah, going back. Verse 2, it says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy.
So just removing the word from where it's easily accessible. This is like what's gonna happen? It's all symptoms, right, of the word being removed, right? Become lover of yourself, because you're not getting the truth anymore, right?
Yeah, and those of you that when you have people that rely on their best friends, their families. Guess what? People are gonna only care about themselves. You're not gonna be able to rely on your family or whatnot. Your family might look to you for food. I mean, you eating you for food.
Well, I think it's Isaiah 9 and it says, eat his own arm.
Yeah.
Eat your own arm.
Yeah, man.
Right.
How bad is it gonna be?
Yeah, that's the spirit of.
You don't even know, Slack, brother, that you're being slowly conditioned, even towards that. Right, like you had that show on Netflix. Forget the name, but it had that bitch Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
And it was comedic. I watched like maybe 3-4 episodes. I didn't watch that show, but I just wanted to see the kind of gist of it. And it's like pure comedy, pure humor about cannibalism, and actually finding the person, killing him, right? But they try to make it seem like, oh, that person was bad. He's a criminal, so we got to, I'll kill him and eat him, right? But it's pure, satire, right? It's nothing. So you have these different things where they're telling you, look, you got Beyond Meat. Oh, you can donate yourself. There's a website you can donate to die to be harvested, for meat.
Harvest.
Right. So, that whole gore, blood, that these people subliminally, subconsciously, you're being conditioned.
Right.
To be a savage, man, to be a rage.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the networks, the 5G networks, man.
Oh man.
That the 6G, I guess now that's what they have. Right.
Yeah, that's the spirit of slumber.
Yeah.
Going back to what the brother was mentioning as well, results of rejecting the truth. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. Verse 3, it says, without natural affection.
Yeah, that's love, that's why Matthew 24, it says the love of many shall wax cold.
That's right. That's right.
And like I said, it's not like, oh, one day it happened. No, man, it's a progression of steps.
Right.
It's like the elders over there in Dallas and UK, they talk about an algorithm.
Right.
It's a process, man.
That's right.
Right. It doesn't happen overnight. The recession or depression doesn't happen overnight.
That's right.
Right. The famine, it doesn't happen in a month or in a year. It's steps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why right from young, they have you watching TV, programming you, and that's
programming.
Basically that's MK Ultra on a worldwide scale.
Gradualism.
That's
now
right.
back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Pop up. Wow.
God, it says without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers.
Hey, that's why everyone's complaining. Everybody's, I'm keeping to myself. Everybody's talking shit. Nobody say what they mean what they say, right? Everybody's just like keeping to themselves really in that spirit, because everybody's saying, yo, this guy's a snake. This person talks shit. This person lies.
Yeah.
And you're going to start seeing even more of that.
Yeah, kind.
That's funny. That's the next. I think that's the next verse there in Amos. We become restless.
I was just looking up that word continent or continent, right? And it says without self-control and temperate. Okay, so it says it says without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despise,
basically incontent. And the Lord and the scriptures teach us to be moderate and content.
That's right.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, beautiful. Right. Incontent. Fierce, despisers of those that are good.
Fierce.
So that's why to be a fan of the word, as I said earlier, you want to say that you're a man of the Lord, because they're going to hate you, man.
Yeah.
Right. So some are looking to ask questions, but some are looking to say, you're the cause of this. Just remember when Jonah was going to Nineveh, and when things start getting rough, they say, "Hey, man, must be you, man. Throw his ass over in the water, man. Let's kill him."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jonah was like showing what can happen in the famine when the Lord have you to do something and take the spirit away from you. People know like, yo, I saw you in the street, man. I know who you are, man. What's up?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Or even I saw your videos. It says traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh.
That's right. And that's the spirit of the world is right now. The world don't love the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
People are dying. They call it Allah Akbar, man, right? Because they don't know the Lord. And the only people that love the Lord is a man of the Lord, and the family, or the ones that are the Lord has chosen, that's predestined to hear this word, right?
That's right. Finishing off, just a 5, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof.
It's like a really. I was looking for this. What Kazak was saying in that time, right? So this is in the context of what we're talking about. Proverbs 12:23. A prudent man. What's prudence, right? Judgment. So you're gonna know in that time. Look, I'm not on the highways. I have no business telling anybody anything, because the Lord. You can clearly understand. Now versus the time we're going to be in, that it's not time for the wisdom to be out there, because the wisdom is going to actually conceal itself. Right? So it says, a prudent man concealeth knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaimeth foolishness. Right?
Right.
That was it.
Straight. All right, Khan. So that's it. We're going to close this lesson. Beautiful precepts on the comment board, by the way, from the brothers. Slacker couldn't get them all, but Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to close by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh. Honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect that are also pushing this word across the four corners of the earth. And sincere Akwat that believe as well. So we're going to say shalom to the hopeful elect, Baba Ball. Willing to the next live lesson. Shalom.
Shalom.
Oh.